We're going to talk about the beginnings of people's musical roots. And of course, a lot of that is dependent upon when you were born. And for me, the early 60s, 1964, was a great opening up of being aware of music. And not only that, but I started to play the guitar a little bit. But it could have been the 1950s, and as a matter of fact, I did catch part of the 1950s as a younger person. And there were some great things that were happening then. And the 40s, of course, and so I have a general appreciation for good music, popular music, no matter what era it came from. But we're focusing more on the 60s because that's the thing that impressed me so much. Was I aware of music as a child? Oh yes. I didn't know how to play anything or didn't know anything about music theory, but of course my ears were listening to, let's see, 3 or 4 years old, I heard the Adventures of Superman theme, and I loved it. I still love it today. It's really a great theme. Sadly, the score to that is missing. Back in early television, they had no idea that any of this stuff might be collectible or would have any historical value. So as soon as they recorded the music, they trashed the score. So it was for a lot of TV shows from the 50s. Even in the 60s, Earl Hagen told me that in the 1960s they did a theme called That Girl, which I really like. And the studio just got rid of it because it was taking up too much space along with other music, and they had no thought of nostalgia. Nostalgia really kind of came in the 70s, and people started realizing that, hey, maybe there's a legacy here in television music and that sort of thing. But before then, no. So, what else? Earliest references of things that I heard when I was a kid, a young child. There was a song called Elmer's Tune by Glenn Miller. And on that record, 78 RPM, I would cock my ear up to the speaker. We had this huge console that played 78s. And there was a very unusual vocal sound. And what that sound was like the modern airs or the Pied Pipers, that type of close harmony sound. And that really caught my ear. And so when I heard that record, I thought, wow, this is different. This is, don't know why it sounds the way it does, but it sounds great. And of course, the great Alan Copland, who has some teaching things out now on the way, was part of that scenario, and he's a great vocal arranger. I think he was part of the Modern Airs for a while in the late 40s and early 50s, and still occasionally sings with them. But getting back to motion picture themes, television themes, you go to school and you come home, you watch television, and there are certain themes that come up that you remember. One of which was the Danny Thomas theme, Make Room for Daddy, based on the old song Londonderry Air. And the way Earl Hagen and Herb Spencer arranged this tune was really fantastic. We have a descending bass line, and then that's harmonized each time. Then we have some sort of a line that starts creeping upwards. And then saxes come in. really like that part right there, the close saxes and the bass line. So that was really a real gas. What else? Leave It to Beaver. Great little theme, huh? Really quirky. I think it's called March of the Toy Soldiers or something like that. And the way it was orchestrated was really great. I think the theme was spread out in large octaves. The woodwinds were spread out in big octaves. And it was kind of a quirky rhythm. Whatever the chords are, but little stabs, and then really good. What else? Bonanza, a real classic, starts off with a sustained chord. Goes about to right there, I think. This is done on a guitar, a sliding guitar. I don't know whether they used just their fingers or what they did. And they slide up from this note and go to here. And then at the same time, this sustained chord is building up. And of course the guitar solo comes in. Great orchestration. I believe it was David Rose that did that one. And then at the end, of course, the big blast, you know. Low bones, brass. Now, I thought I heard a tenth there in the brass, but I don't think so. It's not really that pronounced. There may be a tenth in one of the parts, the piano part or something, but mostly what I hear is this hollow octave in the low. There may be another G lower. So anyway, that was really great. That Girl, we talked about That Girl. Really like that one. Pizzicato strings. And then the brass comes in. Love it, love it. And then the strings come in winding away, and so that was really a great piece of music by arranging by Earl Hagen. What else? Dick Van Dyke, great. A lot of classic themes. So yes, my ear was tuned into all this stuff, even though I didn't know what it was. And retrospectively, later on, I grabbed onto it and I was able to try to figure out how some of it went. Now in the next segment we're going to talk about a man who kind of changed the face of pop music. But he says that he wasn't trying to do any such thing, and that he really didn't even know whether he wanted to be in music or not. He just kind of drifted along, he said. He started out as a conductor for singers in the 1950s. Marlene Dietrich, the Ames Brothers, Vic Damone, Steve Lawrence. And he just kind of floated along, and he didn't really write songs in the beginning, but he decided towards the later part of the 50s that he was going to start writing tunes and see if he could get some stuff published. And it took a long time for him to get a song recorded, over a year as a matter of fact. But he has become one of our national treasures. And the next segment we're going to talk about Burt Bacharach.